Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 84 of our Success Nuggets for stay-at-home parents. Today, we are looking at a topic that is not just for stay-at-home parents, but for everyone. We've been discussing about the different components in understanding and developing emotional intelligence. And today is just about right to share something very, very deep in respect to what is presently trending on Facebook, social media, about the loss of a child, that something that should have been avoided. Thank you so much for joining, Joseph, and everyone that is joining. My name is Dr. Mrs. Blessing Ishomo. I am a certified leadership coach, a certified trainer of the Success Principles Online. I am a family and sex coach. I'm passionate about building the home, helping parents figure out how to enjoy sex, enjoy more money, and have a balanced life. So I work with the mindset, the health, and finance. So you could say I help people create a life that is more, they are happy, they are healthy, and they are wealthy. So all these options, you see them come up as we discuss. So we are on a series. We started how many days back? With all the ups and downs, today is day 84. Started with the Success Principles, and right now we're looking at Success Nuggets that would help you put those principles into action and bring things to your awareness that ordinarily you would not take serious. Today is one of those days. We're looking at how you can protect your child using emotional intelligence. A lot of things, a lot of stories about this particular 12-year-old boy that died in the boarding school. I had a friend visit me yesterday, and she was scared. She was scared for her children. Her children are not even in the boarding house. And she was asking them, please don't join any cult. Don't join any club that your teacher. And the children are wondering, so what is a cult? And then for those that are in the boarding school, they can't wait to go get their children out of the boarding school to be asking them all sorts of weird questions. Right now, everybody wants to do something. Everybody's discussing. And for some people, it's a case of regrets. I wish I had paid attention. I wish I had taking action. I wish I had done this or done, I wish I had followed up on the signs. So before we continue with this, how to help protect your child or your children, could be in school, it could be church, it could be anywhere. Let's review or summarize the 4 parts that we've been discussing, especially for those that are going to be watching this for the first time. So we talked about being, having self-awareness, right? Understanding what emotions are and how you are able to pinpoint how you are feeling, exactly what is going on with you. Some people cannot tell how they feel. Someone can feel lonely and think they are sad, or someone can be disgusted and just mask it as being angry. There are basic emotions, and then there are others. So you have the sad, being anger, happiness, you have surprise, you have disgust. People are not able to say, this is exactly how I'm feeling. They just react, and that's where you hear the word throw tantrums. And most times children do it like every other person. You see a child, instead of trying to figure out what's going on with the sums, the child starts to cry. It's actually a feeling of frustration, but the only way the child can deal with it is to cry. Some of us adults still do it. But when you say, what's going on? I don't know, I can't do it, I'm not able to, it's not fair, it's not fair. And once they say it's not fair, it triggers, I am the victim, and they start to cry. The same thing with adults that still, they are just grown children. So the first thing is for you to be able to identify what is going on with you, and then isolate that thought. Is it true that it's not fair? What is that thought doing to me? So what can I do about it? Yes, I can be angry, and I can be sane and still be angry. I can be angry and not destroy the home. I can relate with myself. I can have that interaction inside. And then self-management. This is where you are able to observe and appreciate what the feelings, the emotions are bringing up to you, and use them constructively. A lot of people see things and honestly they just needed to say, oh, please don't do that again. But then they allow the emotions, they react at that point, and then they start with how the person is from a place where they are all useless, they are losers. You just go off a tangent that is completely off that thing, that situation. Or you hear people attacking another person instead of attending to the situation. So being able to manage your emotions, first of all, being aware of your emotions. Every emotion, every feeling is there for a purpose. Oh, why am I feeling like this? Why am I angry? And then you dissect it and become aware, and oh, this is why I'm angry. This is what I'm thinking that is happening. And then you question it. You identify it. A lot of times people say, I am just like that. I lose it. No, you are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. I remember in one of those videos, for some of us that will be watching later, you could check the other videos. One of my mentors, Jonas Saraf, the brain expert, he said, there's this exercise we do with the brain called exercise, where you can move from the different emotions. You could be angry right now, think of something that makes you angry, and actually switch to something that you remembered in the past that you are so happy about. So if you have the power to switch from different emotions, realize that you are in charge. You are not helpless. And then social awareness, being able to understand that just as you are becoming aware of what's going on inside of you and you have the power to manage it, that other person you are looking at also have emotions. Because many times when we have a standpoint, a view about something, we just go off and forget that the other person might have a different view. And we speak from the, side of judgment, and we just go on and, I don't know whether you are thinking, how could you do this? And we're just on and on. Put yourself in their shoes. For you to be socially aware, you need to work with empathy. You need to become attentive. We've talked about that. Check one of our videos on attention. Check for the non-verbal cues. There is this story going on with this particular tragedy of how this young child had shared his reservations about going back to the boarding house, or talked about how he's being bullied. Attention would have caught something. Investigating that could have helped. it's in the past right now. And truly, my family and I, we prayed for that family and prayed for so many other families. But you find a situation where a lot of people are so busy trying to put food on the table and they are missing out on life. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you so much for commenting and contributing. They are missing out on life. They are missing out. I recall a student telling me that, you know, people in her class, they don't see their parents from Monday to Friday. And on Saturday and Sunday, when they have the opportunity to see their parents, it is just hello, hi, and they're off to some party or some meetings. And they give everything, like the ATM card, you can use it to buy whatever you want to buy. They have the PlayStation, they have all the games. You don't even know what's going on in those, when they lock their rooms or when you travel for days. They have access to things they're not supposed to have access to. They play violent games. They are used to seeing blood. They think it's okay. Recently, a young child said, I would love to write on how to become a wizard. That was so funny. I said, let's look at it very well. By the time we were done looking at it, I said, oh, wow, I don't think that's really what I had in mind. Because so many subtle things are just coming on the children. So if you're very busy, you need to have a plan. You need to become aware of what's going on with your children and the environment. And you know what? You don't need to sit down and stay all day looking at the child. It's a case of when you are there, be present. When you ask questions, watch how they respond. A lot of parents, and that's something we are asking, we are appealing, please don't do it. A lot of parents right now, for the next 1 week, would be serious about, you know, checking their children, and maybe some of them will come from the negative psychology, you know, saying, I hope you are not part of the bullies in your school. Did you finish your food today? What did that teacher say to you? And then they will march to the school. I will not take it. If you people think you can do this and go scot-free, not woman. Don't do that, please. Because it's not a fire service response. It's not a one-off thing. It's something where we're inviting you to add to what you're already doing. Pay attention. And when you pay attention, be interested in what your child is saying, or be interested in your child's tutor, educator, be interested in the school, be interested. Some people don't come for PTA ever. And then there are very important things that are said in the Parents Teachers Association meetings. They never pick on those things. And most times, it's painful that it is the children of such parents that are the bullies, that are the ones giving issues in school. Social awareness is so important. There was a time I did a poll on students and teachers, because I work with schools, and I have this pet project, Anti-Bees Club, where we teach children sex education, leadership skills, self-esteem. We help them with their communication skills. And I'll share 2 stories out of this. One was the earlier years of starting that program. I was discussing with children on sex education, teaching them what to do and what not to do. And when someone is trying to take advantage or touch them in their private parts, do you know, there were parents that raised objection. You're putting things in our children's head. You're trying to get our children to learn things they don't know. And I was laughing. I said, listen, the cartoons they watch, and they just type on Google, and Google tells them everything. You are not doing the job. Auntie B wants to help bridge that gap, and you are saying they're learning things they should not learn. you forget that when you were a child, you didn't have a phone to play with. You did not even know that you could have the opportunity to speak and everybody around the world will hear you at the same time. The children are different. The way they see things and the way they process things, they're different. You cannot use, like one of my amazing mentors, Praise for where would say, so you cannot use analog system to train a digital child. You can't use those old methods. Your parents said to you, continue doing it. If you like, go and kill yourself, go and hit you don't say that to children these days. You prepare them. You don't wait for them to get into trouble. You let them know what to do. You guide them and you make them see the consequences, and then you ask them, what would you do if you are in this situation? A lot of families just live by default. It is when something happens, everybody starts crying, everybody starts shouting. Socially aware of every other person aside you, their emotions, how they react to things. There's a present or a current phase that I am noticing in one of my children, and I am thinking of how to help out with that, because the kind of emotions that come up, and I'm reading, I'm looking at the best way to help this child. It's very important. You cannot use the same way you raised your first child to raise the second or the third if you have more than one child. So become aware that that other human being has feelings. That human being needs help. A lot of people see teachers as, I pay you, and so you are there to parent my child. Why am I paying you if you cannot talk to my child? If you cannot help my child pass the exam, or if you cannot make my child become well-mannered? That's why I pay so much. Especially parents that are in, high-paying schools. It's a fallacy. I don't know where and how they embraced that just by paying school fees you would get everything intact. Like a friend of mine posted today, Leslie Chinedu, thumbs up to you, girl. I really, really love that. Take 100% responsibility in parenting your child. The teacher, the educator, the owner of the school, they are just part of that team. And you need to also see them as part of the team that is trying to help your child. And so that means when you have a team, you don't sleep, you don't just stay away. You are looking for ways to make sure that everybody is working together for one goal, and that goal is to help that child become better. Imagine when each time you reach out to your child's teacher, you are combative. Imagine when each time you are talking about the school, you are coming from a very negative standpoint. What do you think happens? A lot of teachers have resigned. They've developed thick skin. They are not ready to correct anybody, especially in these high-paying schools. They don't want to lose their job, because when they correct the child, or when they say something that is the child does not like, the child goes home and plays the duality or dual personality game. That card, they just do, Mommy, I didn't do anything today, and my teacher just told me that I am fat, or I am ugly, or my teacher did not allow, my teacher punished only me. Now, as a parent, when you're not working with the tool of social awareness, you you are ready to tear that teacher. My child, is it because I am in that school? No, that's not the first thing to do. The first thing to do is, please, it's very important you listen to your child. It is very, very important. At the same time, you need to get all the facts. And you are not going there as someone who is going to fight. You are going to ask a team member what exactly happened and how it can be remedied. There's a difference between when you see the teacher as your right hand person, or the person that is helping you train your child, helping you look out for you when you are not there. There's a difference between that and when you are looking at that teacher as, I pay you, you are just doing your job. Oh my goodness, don't do that with your child. For every class I enter, I have a discussion with the teacher. I make the teacher realize that you are valuable to me and we're in this for a goal. That goal is for this child to come out better. And please share with me everything that I can do to make your job easier and better. If you've always looked at teachers as a thing that you could get them fired, or you could just talk to them anyhow, just know that your child will be at the receiving end. Because if something is going on with that child and you don't know about it, and the teacher looks at the child, oh, this child is becoming a bully, the teacher will just look the other way. Why? Because you're a terror, or the child is a terror. I know for a fact from the poll that I this other story I was talking about that I conducted, there were teachers they wrote down names of students that were bullying them. And a particular teacher even went as far as pleading with the children, please, I have a family to feed. Don't get me fired. I'm sorry, please. Can you imagine when a teacher, a father of other children, is pleading with the class he's teaching to just forgive him and not get him fired? For he's not done anything, no. Someone will just start with insulting how he looks or whatever. Everybody will laugh, ha 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 ha. Not everybody, but that clique. And then whatever he says, in defiance, they are not ready to do. They push the boundary. They want him to say anything, so they will take it up and code it and take it to their parents. Don't be that parent that goes to fight. That's the angle I'm coming from. Be the parent that would have everything on the table. Watch your child. Understand where your child is coming from. And look out for things that will, repeat itself. I had one slip one time where one of my children came home and said, my teacher beat me. I was disappointed. I didn't talk to the teacher. I was so sad. I was angry. And then one of those times it just came up like that, and I shared it, and I said to the teacher, why would you do this? And the teacher almost cried. The teacher called some other students and said, this day, what happened? By the end of the day, I found out that my child was not really telling me the truth. All I could have done that day was immediately the child said, this happened in school. That same day or the next day, I would have gone to the teacher and resolved it. It would have been easier than for days going, round and round, and it would have gotten out of hand if I didn't, apply some maturity to it. And the teacher would have been so shocked. So many teachers have been fired for the wrong reasons. And so I'm just giving you that angle. Many of them don't talk. And so you will find these bullies, when they do this, they do something wrong and nobody's talking to them, they are bold to do more. And then you find other children at their mercy. So you as the parent, what do you do when you find out that your child is bullying another child? Or your child goes to watch some funny, violent games and comes to the class to, practice what he has watched, or goes to watch pornography or whatever, and comes to touch people in their private part, what do you do as a parent? Do you just say, this child, you will not kill me, and you forget about it? What do you do? Relationship management. When you find out that something is going on with your child and the school is not taking it serious, yes, it's also real that many of these schools, because they say to themselves and they say to the teachers, we are here to give academic solutions. Every other thing, sweep it under the carpet, because we don't want parents to take their children, out of the school. You find in such cultures or in such environment, teachers, even when they catch a boy and a girl, or a girl and a girl, or whatever, exploring their bodies, they will just caution them, and it ends there. They don't call the parents, because even when they call the parents will start with, it's not true, my child cannot do this. In fact, they are looking for who to shoot, they are looking for who to kill. Parents are not aware of their emotions. They are not managing their emotions well. They are just throwing tantrums. Are you trying to say I did not train my child well? Why should that be the first thought in your head? Why not think that these children are curious and they are experimenting? Okay, this has opened a new space for me to work on. My child has not really understood what to do in this area. Let me help. And if you don't know what to do, please, you seek counsel. You get a counselor. There are so many experts out there. There are so many wonderful programs that can help. But most times they just interpret it as an attack on themselves, and then they fight the attacker, and it ends there. Nothing is done with the child. And that's why you find some children dying in silence. Really, abandonment is the word. And they're just dragging their bags and going and just trying to survive. Someone is saying the story is saying the court. How did the court? Is it a one-day thing? No, it did not start that day. And did these boys that caused this problem, did they wake up that day to say, you know what, we're going to kill this guy today? Nope. Nobody does that. Graduated. It became something that was now too late. Someone might listen to this Facebook Live and feel I am just hammering on the parents. I am not attacking the parents of the dead child. I am bringing to your awareness the fact that as parents, every one of us should become more socially aware of what is going on with the emotions of our children, the emotions and the things going on in the school, in church. We've had children molested in the hands of people that were supposed to protect them in church. It didn't just happen. There were signs. We've had people get into trouble just by following someone that everyone thought is a good child from a good home. But when you are aware, when you start noticing the words your child use, or when you see how your child would run away when you are coming or something, and the child, you don't come from the angle of fight or you must, no, you come from, you're like a scientist, you're trying to understand, and then you're asking questions. And when the questions are met with silence, you redirect the questions. You don't sleep on it. You continue checking, and you give your child tools to work with. You engage your child meaningfully. Many children are addicted to games. If you take the games off them, they are crying or they are depressed. That word depressed is becoming like an everyday word for teenagers. How did that happen? Be aware of what is going on with your child. Don't interpret it as an attack to you, person. As I am, are you trying to say I'm not a good parent or I have failed my child? Please leave all those emotions that would pull you down. Where we are right now is, what can I do differently? And how can I help my child? And help every other person around me that is helping me look after my child, especially for very busy, executives, busy parents. You need to put structures. I tell people, CCTV is not a luxury for any busy person. It's not. CCTV is not a luxury. When you are away and for any reason you don't have the time you would love to have with your child, you should be able to monitor what's going on your phone. And when you see things you don't like, you don't come with the sledgehammer. You come with, I want to understand. You come from the place of empathy, and then you design a plan on how to help the child. If I ask you this question, do you have a game plan? Do you actually have a chart of where you want your child to? No, I'm not talking about academics. I'm not talking about primary, secondary, university, and then NYSC, and then they start working. No, I'm talking about the whole child, their character. Who are you bringing up? Have you thought about that? It's important. So that's for the parents. And also understand, many of these schools, they're doing crisis management because they don't, the bottom line is how much is coming in. So if they are calling you to take care of, many of them don't want to go into sex-related offenses or go into bullying issues as such. Why? The parents are not cooperating. It's supposed to be everybody working together to help the child grow. But when the parents and they see the school as, the demon, please, nobody. If you see something you don't like in a school, take your stand. Take your stand, pull out your child. If that school is not for your child, you need to do that for your child. But to look at every school with this eye of, are they there to kill my child? Are they there to, I don't think they are, all of them, they are in. No, don't do that. You can't homeschool your child, but you can become aware. Yeah, there are some teachers, they are mean. Yes, they are coming from a place of everybody is hacking down on them. A lot of teachers have issues like their mental wellness is of concern because everybody is just on the management is on them. You have to deliver. The parents are saying, what are you doing? The children are there pushing the boundaries. Some of them, they've become who they did not plan to be. So how do you piece all this together and have a safe environment for your children? It is up to you. It's up to you to be aware. It's up to you to communicate, engage in a friendly manner. In one of the principles we talked about, it said, be an inverse paranoid. So see the world as planning to do you good. A lot of times we think of the negative immediately. No. You need to look at your children as wonderful children. If anything they pick that is not right, you are there to dust it off, to get it out of them. And you need to see the teachers as your team players, people helping you. If you meet a teacher that is disagreeable, you begin to look at ways using emotional intelligence to help you relate with the teacher, and not for every mistake you see, you are furious, you want to hack the person down. Many times, people that are into all those things, the teachers just leave you and your child. Child is doing something, they're not checking. Why? They are scared. They are scared. They are not sure of what to do. Because when they try it, they are hacked. Please get involved with your child or your children. They say the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The next best time is now. Don't just get all emotional and allow this to wane after 1 week, and then you go back to, you know, the same thing. You can start at a very good place to build on what you already know, or to tweak it to get something better with what we will be offering to everyone in the Inner Circle Saturday, a week from now, 8 p.m. We'll also share the Zoom link. Please join us and learn about how you can create a game plan for your child and how you can bring up children that wherever they are, they can speak out. Wherever they are, you are aware of what is going on with them, and you can protect them from dangers and things like this. We will be inviting people in the educational sector. It's going to be a discussion and then an invitation to get that game plan. So I look forward to having everyone join us on the Inner Circle. In the Inner Circle, you would see the link to join and get these free nuggets just as you are preparing to achieve your goals in the business and all that. Please work on upgrading your skills in parenting and in becoming a better person, building that social intelligence muscle. Everyone can be better. Everyone can grow. Everyone can manage their emotions. Everyone can help each other become better. We are looking for people who will join the preventive. We want to be part of those that prevent things from happening, not to be analyzing after it has happened. Join the team. Join us. If you know better, you will do better. People do things with the knowledge they have, the awareness they have at the time they do those things. There are some things that people are regretting right now. I can tell you the children that their parents have taken them away, you know, trying to they are all regretting. Those boys did not plan to find themselves out of school or to be tagged bullies. It seemed it was fun while it lasted, and suddenly it's no longer fun. So we can all grow. And like I said, my heart goes out to those parents. All we can do is pray. It's really tough to have your loved one be in the discussion globally, and you know, having all, you're not even given the space to mourn. It's not a place anyone wants to be. So our heart goes to them, and for every one of us, become aware. If you see something you don't like, if it means pulling your child off that space, do it. Take 100% responsibility. And I hope you've gotten something today. Please join us tomorrow. We are still continuing with the Success Nuggets, and on Saturday we will be doing something for parents. Thank you so much for joining, and bye for now.